Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Well, we got some great news to get to on the draft front from the NFL for your Kansas City Chiefs. I know we've been talking a lot of free agency stuff the last couple of days, but I want to dive into the draft discussion with some fantastic details to get to coming up in just a bit. Before we do, folks, we are closing in on 70,000 subscribers here on the Chiefs Report. Less than 200 away from reaching that next milestone, and we are covering it all here on the channel. We've had lots of free agency discussion over the last couple of days, but even when we have draft news like this, we're still bringing that to you as well, on top of what's going on in the trade market. We cover everything you need to know here on the channel like no one else does. If you love the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to be subscribed to the channel. Help us reach 70K. Subscribe now for free. Stay up to date with everything. We got it all covered right here on the Chiefs Report. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV to subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. So the big news from the NFL coming out this week, the Chiefs have been awarded not one, but two compensatory draft picks for 2025, as that was officially announced. And let's tell you what those comp picks are. They include a 7th-round pick at 251, as well as an additional 7th-round pick at 257. This is a big deal, folks, for the Chiefs to have these extra picks. And before the comp pick situation of what we knew what was going to come of that, the Chiefs were sitting at just 6 total draft picks. Now that's changed, and here's another reason why this is a big deal. Although we were expecting the Chiefs to have comp picks based on what they've lost in free agency last year, this was still better than what was initially projected. The experts, the so-called experts anyway, had said that the Chiefs were likely to get just one 7th-round comp pick. Instead, they are getting an extra pick. And I know what some of you right away are thinking. Well, what good does another 7th-round pick do you, especially when you have all the UDFAs you can potentially sign in all this? What I would say, folks, it's like the lottery in this sense, where I am getting an extra 7th-round pick, and now I get to play my odds a little bit higher. Or it's the flexibility of, hey, we got 2 7th-round picks now. Maybe we can trade to move up, or maybe we can make a trade for next year. You just have more chips at the table that you can potentially work with and help your odds of landing that potential player you're looking for. And not to mention, the Kansas City Chiefs have a fantastic track record when it comes to these late-round draft picks over the years, especially with what Brett Veach has done. So it may seem small to some, the idea that, hey, it's just one extra 7th-round pick, but this is a big deal, especially when we weren't thinking that they were going to have 2 7th-round comp picks. I think it's awesome for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is great news for this team as they prepare for this draft. What is your one-word reaction to the Chiefs draft news? I'll give you my one-word reaction coming up in just a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Let us know what your one-word reaction is to the Chiefs draft news. My one-word reaction is needed. This is needed on the part of Kansas City to have every single pick to their arsenal, to their disposal here for this upcoming draft, for the flexibility here. Because I'll say this much. In all likelihood, of these 8 draft picks that will go through the full order here in just a bit, you are not going to select all 8 picks in their current position. Whether you're making trades up or trading for next year, whatever it may be, you're likely not going to use all of them. But at least it gives you that potential to have that flexibility to move stuff around. This draft is going to be huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is crucial for them of what they do with these picks and continue what they have started with this organization. Brett Veach has had a very clear blueprint at this point when it comes to what they've done with how they've built this thing, that they're not big on making the trades or the free agent signings to find their star players. The key players for this team, for the most part, all come from the draft. That is the bread and butter of this organization, and that's a very good thing. 8 total draft picks for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2025. And another important distinction as well is that they have 4 picks within the top 100 of this upcoming draft. And to even be more specific, that's 4 picks in the top 95. And to kind of get perspective on that as well, when you evaluate and look at the draft of the players in the draft, a lot of it comes down to trying to find those top 100 players. So the Chiefs head into this April's draft with a chance, let's just say if they stay with their top 4 picks, at getting 4 top 100 players within those 100 picks just to start. That's a very good thing. You go through the draft order for Kansas City, it looks as follows. They have a first-round pick at 31 overall, and I'll be very curious about what Kansas City finds themselves in with that 31. Remember, they traded up for Xavier Worthy last year. A lot of talk about them looking for offensive line help potentially, and there could be a run on tackles where those guys are gone by the time the Chiefs pick at 31, so maybe you're going to package some of those later picks potentially to move up there. Then in round 2, you have a pick at 63, and then you have another pick at 66 to begin the 3rd round. And here's another idea to throw out there. You have this game where if you're Kansas City, with having picks at 63 and 66, you have a little mind game that you can kind of play with yourself in that scenario of, do we take this player here as opposed to taking this guy, thinking that he could still be available at 66. Then you kind of get a little bit of control of the draft by having those picks close together in that spot. Then you have another 3rd round pick at 95, and that rounds out your 4 picks in the first 95 picks of this draft. And then you get a 4th round pick at 133. And it's going to be a while before we see the Chiefs make another pick, barring a trade of sorts, as they end the draft with 3 7th-round picks, 226, 251, and then 257 to round things up. So 8 picks in all, 4 picks in the top 95, a 4th-round pick at 133, and now the 3 7th-round picks as well. Who is a player the Chiefs should draft? Give me a name in the comment section. It doesn't have to be a first-round pick. It could be somebody that's going to be picked later on in the draft. Weigh in, let us know in the comment section. Got a great deal for Chiefs fans. Polos are on sale now for up to 50% off while supplies last. We have all sorts of different colors here, from the gray to the stripes to the red, and there's plenty more at our link, chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos. Men's and women's options available, all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And we have other Chiefs merchandise for your liking as well. It's all at that link, chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos is where you can get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Check it out, chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos. I was talking to Brett Veach at the Super Bowl several weeks ago, and Veach made it known that as they were approaching this offseason, their belief was that they felt the draft was their free agency, that they weren't going to be able to spend much in free agency, that their number one priority was taking care of re-signings, which they were able to do for the most part with the franchise tag on Trey Smith and bringing back Nick Bolton. This is where they really want to win the offseason, is through the draft. And Brett Veach has been fantastic in the draft over the years with what he's done from his first-round picks to his day 3 selections. And the telling thing for me is when you go back to that 2022 draft class and beyond, all the players that are still here with the Chiefs have yet to lose, I take that back. They have yet to lose a playoff game outside of the Super Bowl last year. They have built a winning culture with these young players. They've adapted accordingly. They have to continue that and make the most of it in this draft and keep on keeping on with what they've started here and keep this trend going from here. And I have every reason to believe in Brett Veach and think that they will do so. Do you believe in Brett Veach? How you feeling about the Chiefs GM this offseason with the moves he's made and what's ahead? Weigh in, let us know. Type B for believe, D for don't. For continuing offseason coverage, we're talking draft, free agency, trades, and more. It's all right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. We'll see you next time.